Hello, good evening, and welcome back, everyone, to the Overwatch All-Star Brawl number 2, presented by Star Esports. This is a double elimination tournament dedicated to the Overwatch Tier 3 community. Tonight, we've got Winnable versus Dismissed. I'm Threepwood007. I'm joined by the wonderful Sly.
Hello, everyone.
It is a fantastic night, and before we get started up on this matchup, we have a very special interview for you all.
Yep, today we will be joined by Empress. Say hello.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all having a good evening.
A fantastic evening indeed. So, Empress, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What team are you coming from, and what is your role in that team?
So I am currently the head coach of the newly formed team Dismissed. We actually we're just formed our roster. Been having trials for a while, actually forever it seems like, and it's been really, really exciting. And we are all really, really honored to have to be here tonight. So I can't wait for you guys to see what we can bring.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So coming into this particular tournament, you guys mentioned that you guys are relatively newly formed. Is this one of your first matches up?
In terms of like participating in the All Stars, or
Yeah, in tournaments in general.
oh no, I previously coached Metamorphic, who I think
Oh.
disbanded. Yeah, so this is, I guess you could say, you're back in the saddle again.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. What do you guys thinking coming into this matchup? What's one thing you guys really want to work on?
Um, right now, I think our focus, because everyone is just, it's relatively new. Some people are days old, some people are weeks old, some people have been together for a while. It's just getting that synergy. I think synergy is so important in a game like this. Comms contribute to part of it. I mean, but just like the more a team plays together, the more you know and understand everybody's play styles, and the easier it becomes to sort of execute those plays, the big plays that, you casters love to get hyped about. So just working on that and building it in a variety of different ways is, it can be a challenge, but I'm up for it. We're all up
Awesome.
for it.
Awesome indeed. Definitely looking forward to yelling myself hoarse over some crazy pog plays. As we get psyched up and ready to get into the match here, last thing I want to ask is, so getting ready for today, how do you, what does Dismiss do to get psyched up and pumped up for a match?
Right now we don't really have like a pre-match like hype session. And I was actually in the middle of giving my team a pep talk when, I got the message to like, haul ass and get in here. And so I was cut short and I was just basically like, all right, good luck everybody. I believe in you. Bye. And I just left. So that was the extent of my pep talk. But like once I sort of get the timing and figure out that, speech, I'm sure it will be better next time around. But I absolutely believe in my team. And like I said, I'm really excited to play against Winnable and to just show off our current roster. So really pumped.
Y'all heard it from the OASB first. Dismissed is believed in by Empress, who believes in them. So thank you very much for joining us in the interviewer's booth today. We're going to get rocking onto this match. Good luck today and best of good fortunes and all that good stuff.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the show.
All right, Sly, it's Lijiang Tower. What do we got coming out from these teams in terms of compositions?
I mean, something super popular that seems to have been showing up a lot lately that I've seen is a Pharah Doomfist DPS, because we got that popular double barrier going on right now with the Orisa and Sigma, and along with maybe a Symmetra is your first thought on, like, she's good against barriers, but Pharah and Doomfist are both really good against the Symmetra, so something I've seen quite a bit of.
Yeah, it's right now Symmetra I think needs a little more tender loving care from her team if she's going to stay alive long enough in a fight. And if you're willing to commit the resources, great. But like you said, the Pharahs, I think we have been seeing a lot of really solid Pharah play coming out where they're finding ways past these barriers despite more of them than ever before kind of thing. But with the Rollock too, yeah, the Pharah Doomfist DPS combo is pretty interesting, isn't it? You have the Master of the Sky, but then you also have a hero who can't really deal with a Pharah on their own either.
Yeah, it's weird. It's not so much as they're looking to match up against each other, it's all the other DPS that could come out. So like the Symmetra, they're both good against the May and Reaper that we saw a lot of before Sigma came in on the comp that you could say was similar to Ghost that people were super comfortable with. But really, the Doomfist and Pharah, just while people are getting used to the meta, are so disruptive in what they do and the different angles that they can take that it's really hard for teams to get a beat on.
It makes a lot of sense, and Doomfist has a ton of survivability when he goes diving into the backline, hits with his abilities, gets some tasty shields, rips his way back out, and probably picks up a kill on the way. And yeah, of course, barriers, not really something he's too concerned about, I guess. So we're going into Lijiang Tower. Both teams probably going to start tossing out the R's soon enough. Now, Pharah, of course, is an easy pick for the night market and the gardens, but if we end up in the control center, maybe we see some Reinhardt, maybe? No?
I'm hoping for the Reinhardt as much as you are, but I just don't see it happening. It's so hard to make it work with your limited 2000 HP shield, because once that's gone, you don't have Fortify to keep yourself alive. You only got an aggressive charge option, and that's going to get yourself killed, or you're going to end up just charging back to spawn to swap heroes.
Yeah, it's a shame. Even with Reinhardt getting that little bit of a buff in terms of his, I forget what they call it, but basically prevents, not prevents, but mitigates the knockbacks and the stuns and whatnot. But yeah, he doesn't get the love that Orisa and Sigma have been getting. Speaking of which, I assume that Sigma is going to be 100% lock-in for these teams. And yeah, as we get started on Night Market, I wonder if that's going to pose a problem for some of the Pharah play inside that building.
It does pose an initial problem along with the building, but it's like the Sigma is also there to supplement the Orisa shield a ton, so it's kind of needed for that as well once the Orisa shield breaks, because the teams at this level are all focused on breaking that shield, that you need the Sigma shield up there to give the Orisa some respite, and that's the time for the Pharah to come in, and it's a lot to manage once.
Yeah, it gives players a lot to have to be worried about, especially, as we've just mentioned, when you've got a screaming Doomfist colliding into your backline and ruining everyone's day forever. So the ticker is counting down. We've got Winnable on the left in the blue, Dismissed on the right in the red. And if the teams can be believed, it looks like we're going to see some Zarya. Nah, just kidding. There's no way Ford is going to be sticking on that pick.
I would be very shocked to see just the Sigma shield here. It could happen with the Lucio and the Moira to get them in a lot faster, along with the Reaper and Sim, but I feel like it would just be so difficult to get the Sim charge up enough to go up against a comp like more we see over from the Smith side.
No way. I was 100% wrong. Ford leaves spotted. Even Zembrit on the Symmetra as well. I'm digging this.
Yeah, we'll see what they're going to do. Oh, both of them teleporting immediately up there.
Fantastic! Both Symmetras set their teleporters up in the windows that were closest to them, and the kills start coming in for Afro, who finds momentum early into the fight. Source of healing not going to last. Wow. Dismissed set up on the point very dominantly.
That was utter chaos. Just both teams teleporting into the same spot, and the damage is just a little too quick for Winnable to survive against.
Yeah, that was nuts. And again, kind of like not really a shot heard around the world, more as like a little whimper. The only kill going down was momentum, but the fight is now still in fervor. But Moira's Coalescence is going to make it a little difficult for these barriers to get a lot of leeway here.
Yeah, definitely difficult to get a little bit of leeway, but however, the Mei wall ended up healing well be coming in. However, the Symmetra does end up finding some kills after the Coalescence.
Wow, Winnable coming back in a huge way. Point flip may have gone to Dismissed early on, but they have got their feet back under them, and they are kicking up a storm. This Zarya pick is doing a lot of good work for them.
Yeah, I mean, you back in GOAT, you always talk about Zarya as the a DPS of GOATs. Well, you add a little bit more DPS here into this comp, and it's there's another source of damage you got to watch out for, in addition to the Sim and the Reaper that have so much close range damage.
Yeah, and now you add in a little bit of that long range to make it happen. So Petal, not the only one who having to make it happen, but double beams means barrier's going to be going down. Zarya builds up a huge quantity of charge, but it's going to be the big Symmetra ult coming out from Cry very early on. Sigma drops the big ultimate into a little bit of the Lucio shields from Momentum and Noctis. No kills coming out yet, but now we have yet another Coalescence coming out from the Cuddle Master, who is ripping these ultimates out.
But, I mean, despite all that happening, finally some kills are going to start coming in for Dismissed here. The Mei ult as well to try and push them back, get up maybe the kill on the bow here on the Sigma as they continue to push them back. The Mei beam following the damage, just follow the beams, track it all down, and they will be getting the point flip here in just a bit as they clean up these final few kills.
Yeah, Petal had a great moment there, using the Shadow Step to get out of that Mei ult. The team rotates away just long enough to keep it up to 53%, but now Dismissed is back in command, and right now, from an ultimate perspective, they might have what they need to hold it.
Yeah, the Supercharger very good at blocking any sort of advance, and especially without the Orisa shield to aid in the advance, I think the Supercharger is going to do a lot in terms of breaking down any sort of approach they have.
Yep, and there it is. The Supercharger is in fact down. Now it's a Coalescence coming out from Potion, and with that leading the way, the kills coming in big for Dismissed. Yeah, they dropped almost every ult they had into it, and now Cry and JD also going to have it. But Cuddle Master, once again, and forward with a Grav. This, I think, will be the first Grav we see in this fight. Let's see how they put it to use.
Yep, fairly difficult to get that Zarya Grav charged up against so much shields from Dismissed, but eventually does get it, and it should be a fight win we'll see, unless the Signal has something to say about it.
Wow, the grab gets tossed right out after the Sigma ult goes in. Coalescence is trying to make it happen, but JD already found the kill into Ford. Petal falls as well. Coalescence from Cuddlemaster not really doing a lot to keep team members alive or to knock everyone else down. And with Petal going down, major source of damage, this could be Dismissed final run for it.
Yeah, it might be. They need to make something happen right now as the Sigma ult comes out. However, the Lucio beat is there to counter that and need to get the touch. They will get the touches here as there is the Lucio on point, but Petal coming up with the 2K in the back might be enough to get to the flip if the rest of the team can get there.
Yeah, that was nuts. Really solid play with that back cap, keeping everyone distracted. Momentum goes down very quickly, and now it's Ford finding Potion. This could be it. Is this the moment when Winnable comes back in a quote-unquote winnable fight? But man, that Symmetra's all charged up and doing some serious damage.
We got the rest of the OT hero swapping on. We do see the Doomfist coming in, and it will be enough. And with Cry on that Doomfist, along with the rest of the team coming back to take the first round on Lijiang.
Wow, that was quite the brawl at the end, and I'm really liking what we're seeing coming out from these teams. 100 to 53%, not the blowout that either team was looking for, probably, but that just means that they're pretty evenly matched, and as we head into the Garden, I'm curious if this is maybe the moment when we see that Pharah play, but if we didn't see it on Night Market, I don't know if we'll see it here. There it is.
Yeah, there's the Pharah. I'm always interested to see what kind of tanks they put down with this, and Orisa Sigma seems to be the main option for teams at this point, as it is just they're able to survive on the ground long enough while the Pharah gets stuff done in the air, but it appears that Winnable will be swapping over for a very aggressive dive with the Hammond and Winston.
Yeah, super loving it. Bowie on a Winston and Ford on the Hamster. You can get some really nice early kills with that Hamster, getting them as they come across the bridge, but Afro's going to have the opening scouting there, and yep, there's going to be a Zemrit in the sky to match it, Momentum having flexed onto that Mercy. Wow, Ford goes down very early in this fight.
Very hard CC. The Orisa halt into the Sigma Rock will, and enough damage follow-up will take that Hammond out. And following up on that, Afro with a quick 2 and cleaning up any more kills on this point with Cuddlemaster on the Moira. That will be the flip going over for Dismissed.
Yeah, that's some nutty Pharah play. Afro doing a fantastic job. Well ahead in the barrage meter to get to that deadly ult up to Bear. Meanwhile, it's, Petal, they have switched over to a Widowmaker, probably to contest a little bit of this danger in the sky. That's going to be something for them to worry about.
Definitely a little something to worry about. We'll swap over to the Tracer even while some of the rest of the team is challenging the point. I don't know if this is quite right, as they are kind of bared, but Petal does get back fast enough onto the Tracer to make it to this fight.
I mean, at this point, I'm kind of expecting to see a Genji pop out. Sending a Tracer into the backline, trying to deal with the Hanzo. Doesn't get with the kills that they need as JD, with a big fat rock right to the Bowie, is going to knock that right out, Monkey, right out of the sky. And yeah, not looking good for Winnable, who, they're... Without the Symmetra, without that, switching over to this dive composition, they really seem to be doing a lot for them at the moment.
There's just not a whole lot of reliable damage coming out from them. Watching the health bars of the Smiths, they're just not, none of them are really going down. Meanwhile, the Hammond and the Winston are taking huge chunks of damage. They can't get any damage past these shields.
Yeah, it's crazy, which is just funny. You'd figure that the Winston would have a much better time of it, but instead, he gets taken down again. Ford also falling. This is not the way you want your dive to go, and it's a shame to see it, but even with the Coalescence coming out from Potion, which I don't necessarily think was needed, but Afro also building up to a barrage, matching by Zemrit, is going to be a little interesting final couple fights here.
And it will be a little interesting. I'm just looking to see when does value from Ford and Bowie really come out, and it should be in this next fight as both of them are nearing their tank ultimate. See if Ford pops the mines, and he does to start this fight.
Yup, and that's going to be a... Oh, all that damage gone, but Dragon's tossed point blank right in. Ford going down again. Bowie as well. Their Winnable is having such a hard time keeping these tanks alive. And Zemrit, they go for the barrage, but instead they blow themselves up. Afro's turn now. An ultimate festival on the point as Dismissed unload everything.
It's the last fight. They're very justified in unloading everything. And unless Bowie can make this jump through the window or to the point, we'll get it just in time.
Wow, what a clutch save. So there you have a little bit more of that overtime counter, but that was really just a formality. Ford now back on the point. Kills still coming in crazily for Dismissed. This is pretty much just cleanup time as Lijiang Tower is going to go to the side of the Dismissed.
Wow, that was very convincing after that first round, and it's just a question of, does Winnable have an answer to the Orisa Sigmas? They don't seem want to run it themselves. I hope they have some type of counter in their back pocket for this.
Yeah, that's a lot of barriers to go up against, and if you're not going to run the same barriers yourself, you have to have some way to get behind into that line, but there's no Doomfist. The Hammond and the Winston just weren't able to make it happen enough. In fact, those tanks, they were often dying so early into the fight, I don't think they ever built up an ultimate. Well,
Winston
Hammond
is,
did, at least.
yeah, Hammond did. Winston did have the primal there belly on the Winston, but it's so hard to survive as the Winston at this point now. Most other tanks have some sort of survivability that they can click to live a lot longer. Hammond's got the adaptive shielding. Diva's got the defense matrix. Orisa has the fortify. Winston's got a bubble.
Yeah.
And not a great health pool at that either, only with the 100 armor before going down to that squishy 400 health. So it's very hard to make him work and not be blown up immediately.
Yeah, it's a spooky situation, and if you're gonna run it into it, yeah, you have to be able to commit resources to keep the monkey alive. But honestly, it's a sunk cost. It's so hard, like you said. So we go into the map ban phase of the match, where we are rather dismissed is going to ban a map. Winnable is going to select one from any of our maps in the pool, except for a King of the Hill map. And while we wait, don't forget to drop us a follow and a subscribe if you're feeling plucky in the channel. We love bringing this content, and we'd love to have you around for more.
Also, don't forget about the MVP poll down below, seeing some potential people popping up already. Definitely just solid tank play from Dismissed and just staying alive and everything.
Yeah, nut stuff. And so if you are dismissed, and or rather if you're winnable, you have a map ban coming in, but really like the world is your oyster aside from Lijiang Tower and whatever ban comes in. What map do you pick with to try and maybe flex your strengths, given that it doesn't seem like they're willing to go onto that Sigma just yet?
I mean, if you're looking for something a little more divey, I mean, I don't really like any of the hybrid options here. You might be able to get something working on Hollywood Point 2, but that's kind of risky to go to.
Yeah.
I'd almost maybe look at one of the assault maps. Anubis allows for a lot of weird stuff on that first point. You got some very unique defenses you can run there. Escort, you could maybe look at something from Dorado as well, although that first choke point should be favoring a double shield, so if you can get past that, you might be able to make something happen. Looks like they will be picking King's Row, however, and that's I'd say that's a more double shield map than anything, actually.
Yeah, that's the map where even when Reinhardt didn't see a lot of play, or maybe or rather it was Orisa, that was always the map where you brought up your big barriers, you got your pulled pork action going. I definitely think it favors the Sigma play in this double barriers, kind of meta that we're working our way into. Still very young in terms of how teams are wanting to shake it out. But yeah, this is such a solid choke to throw some barriers into. If Winnable is going to be sticking it up on the defense first, I'm very curious to see how they hash it out.
Yep, Dismissed opting to attack first, and I do like that decision. You're coming off such a commanding round there. You're confident in your play. Keep it rolling on the attack and just roll straight through King's Row after on Lijiang.
Yeah, for sure. I 100% agree. If you've got the momentum, don't lose it, but now it's Winnable with momentum who are going to have a chance to take it back. It's going to be interesting. If you're starting on defense, you technically have a chance to make your play, set your own win conditions, so to speak, with maybe some holds, but based on what we've been seeing out of Dismissed, I don't know. Afro was pretty dangerous on that Pharah.
Yeah, the Pharah putting in a lot of work on the dive, just really separating any type of coordination that Winnable could have there. So, like I'm saying, it's all about how does Winnable get the needed damage past the shields, as the Winston Hammond on Garden was not cutting it, and even on Night Market, that Staria Sigma did show some bright spots, but when those elongated fights happened, they just eventually ended up crumbling because they didn't have the staying power that the Arista Sigma did.
Yeah, again, Ford and Bowie did their very best, but just wasn't enough in the face of all those barriers. We even seeing it on the first round of Lijiang Tower, we mentioned that it's really difficult for Zarya, to build up a graviton surge just in the sheer face of all those barriers. 100% true. It's difficult if you're not going to play the meta. You have to find a way to convincingly bust through those barriers. Symmetra was, I think, a solid choice based on the performance, but otherwise, on King's Row, this is going to be a rough choke to get past.
And you're also up against the dueling Symmetra when they did have the Symmetra, so it's like you are getting more charge off of the double shield. However, you only need to get up to full charge to begin with, and it doesn't take that long, so just a Sigma barrier is enough for that, for the Symmetra on the double shield, and then she has the double shields to protect her while she's pumping out the damage, and you've only got Sigma.
Yeah, it's the beams are definitely deadly, but like you said, you only need one shield to really make that happen. But then again, if you're winnable, you're gonna have to go up against the double barriers. It's been working for Dismissed. I can't see them not rolling out of that spawn with
Dylan,
both of those shields.
I would be very surprised to see them try to fix what's not broken here. And
Ooh.
we will see they're going to conform. It's like, all right, what we were trying didn't work. We're going to go to the double shield ourselves.
All right, and also a Mei to boot, matching the Symmetra on the other DPS. So this is interesting. Mei is going to be able to provide a lot of battlefield control, so to speak. Zemret, I can only assume, is just going to be rocking that beam constantly. Meanwhile, difficult to say what the offense is going to be rolling out with. Dismissed being in spawn has the freedom to pretty much do what they please.
And even King's Row is a very good map for Mei. Even way back when, you would sometimes see Mei picked up here. So a lot of the chokes are just the perfect size for her wall here.
Yep, and there it is. The attack is underway. And yes, Spider Agony going to be sticking onto that Hanzo. Love that choice. Double projectile DPS coming out. Afro back on the Pharah as expected. And yeah, they bring in the fight. Whoa, look at that. How did they get Ford so high?
Yeah, that is that weird interaction with fortification after you've already started being pulled by the halt. But I do like this DPS selection from Dismissed here. They're gonna have quite a bit of range damage and just poke from multiple sides.
Yep, and there it is. Spider Agony going to be making their way into the back line, but they have been found. Petal sending some icicles, and wow, yeah, more Cuddle Masters. Moira Ball gets them right there, but Noctis is on hand with the res. So it's back up to 6v6 with some resources drained, and yeah, Winnable putting up a fantastic defense here.
You say that, and then we get a little bit too aggressive there, and now with only the one shield, unless some kills can immediately start coming in, which it doesn't appear they will be, trading coalescence will happen, and in this 6v3 scenario, I just don't see this happening. Ford doing his best to stay alive on point, but will end up falling.
Yeah, of course, the minute I say something, Cuddle Master, having once done such a fantastic job early on in the fight, is now one of the last of Winnable to fall, and with 2 minutes and a half roughly left on the clock, Dismissed to make a very convincing play.
Yeah, they rolled out on the correct DPS to counter the Mei and the Symmetra, two very long-range opponents in that far, and the flanking Hanzo as well, putting a lot of pressure onto Winnable in that back corner of point A.
Yep, and there it goes. Afro holds a barrage. Noctis even with the Valkyrie to just make some even more damage boostiness happen. And there it is. The Dragons has begun. Afro falls before they have a chance. Momentum, though, also goes down to the Dragons. The Afro gets rezzed, and it's just kill after kill for Dismiss now.
Yeah, popping a lot of bolts to make that one happen, but it is worth just so long to keep that payload rolling. Okay, there's a little bit of members left here for Winnable, making this a little bit difficult to start moving, but the barrage is going to quickly snuff that out, fired into the bookshop.
Yeah, I'm loving the disruption that Zemret was pulling, but not being able to kill that Sigma. Noctis is healing way too strong, but keeping them alive just long enough, and then Afro pops the barrage, and wham bam, thank you ma'am. We're looking at pretty much 1 or 2 more fights for point B here.
Yeah, definitely looking at one more fight, but it is going to be a very difficult one fight, as Winnable is coming up on 5 ults, and we're only looking at maybe 2 for Dismiss coming into this next one. Looking for a good Sim Shield and maybe be able to win the fight off of that. However, the Supercharger is going to be the opener.
Wow, Supercharged. Oh, and the Bongos are down now. Ford throwing it in. The big Gravitic Flux is down. Bongos get taken out pretty quickly, and it's a Potion Coalescence that's going to take out Cuddle Master. The Symmetra shield is down, but, oh, there it is. Petal onto a McCree might make it difficult. And Afro switching onto the Mei, though. It's a counter pick left and right, and I don't think Dismissed are going to have too much trouble left on this point B.
No, not at all. That's a huge fight win for them, as they only popped 2 ults to the 4 of Winnable and still won the fight very handily. Then absolutely rolling King's Row off of that. Almost 5 minutes to cap C.
Yeah, that is nuts. Ford now jumping onto the Zarya again. This is a solid hold pick. Zarya does very well on this last point of King Row, but this was before she had so many shields to contend with.
Yeah, I'm going to have the same problems as she did on Night Market. However, also the swap to the Doomfist is definitely going to be looking for those early picks past the double shield, see what they can make happen. Cuddlemaster opening this fight with the Coalescence, however, not able to keep Ford up through it.
Yeah, Ford goes down again very early on into the fight. Poor off tank just has not been having the day. Gravitic Flux again out from Sigma, 50% damage if he manages to catch anyone in it. Coalescence again coming out from Potion, seemingly has it on permanent uptime as they just go ripping right into the enemy lines.
Yeah, and then continuing to keep this payload rolling. I say that, however, the payload is paused for the moment. Potion will end up coming back to it, and may allow something to happen for Winnable here, but still the kills are flowing into the Smith's favor.
Yeah, now the staggers are a little real. Petal is doing their best on that Doomfist, getting some damage in there, but no definitive kills. It's stabilizing now for Winnable. The bongos are in, though. This is going to be a difficult stall for them.
Yeah, the bongos are very good at melting the Hammond. Will not happen immediately. However, the Blizzard on point is going to keep quite a few of them away. Bowie eventually comes up in there onto the Hammond to stall, but it won't be enough. A full 3.5 minutes.
Man, that was a blazing fast King's Row. You figure Winnable was onto something when Ford came ripping out of spawn and knocked Lucid Science right into the sink. But they, again, just weren't able to capitalize on it, and the sheer damage coming out from Dismiss, too strong. And wow, 3 minutes, 27 seconds left on the clock. Holy moly.
And the way this series has been going, it's looking like they might not even need that. Winnable not really having a fight that they won throughout all of that. They just had a lot of time on part more than anything.
Yeah, if they are going to make the push here onto King's Row, busting past these barriers, I'm hoping for maybe some sneaky plays. Maybe take advantage of that Symmetra. The dueling teleporters aside from Lijiang Tower, I think that might be one of their best bets to get around those barriers into the backline, get some of those healers. Any kill that the Winnable can put here onto the point, onto the kill feed is huge, as it's going to be quite the walk back from spawn.
Yeah, one thing to really be super careful with that mass teleport is any sort of AoE ability that could group you up and cause problems. We got the Mei that could possibly hold down left click on your whole team. The Orisa halt as well. We don't have the Ana, which is a really big one to just purple you all as you come out the teleporter, but still a very risky strat to try. And I do like that they are going to keep this Doomfist to try and make something happen.
Yeah, Petal had a really solid option there on the Doomfist. It looks like if they had just had a little bit more time to really get going, get some momentum, find some of those squishier targets, put them into walls, really would have been probably a different point. Instead, now we're looking at Winnable's push onto King's Row. They're keeping the Zarya, the Zarya and the Symmetra as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna do what gave them a little bit of percentage on Lijiang Night Market. I do like sticking with what you're comfortable with, and maybe with the Doomfist and the Symmetra now you have a little bit more success with it.
So this is a very common setup. We have Sigma up on the high ground with his barrier, Orisa down contesting the point on the bottom. No kills coming out yet, but there's Petal go ripping into the backline. He's not going to get any kills, but he does also get out with his own life.
Not quite long enough, though. Another jinx from you, and the rest of the kills look like they're going to be coming into Smith's favor, along with that lamp to keep the rest of them alive. And they are going to cleanly win that fight and clean up Bowie here on the Sigma.
Yep, it's only, oh geez, yeah, they get staggered out pretty nicely as well, and so Noctis doing a fantastic job with the healing, already going to be bringing the damage amplification matrix to bear in this next fight. As far as ultimates go, it's pretty deadly in terms of closing off this choke.
That's going to be another little stall here. Nice headshot in from Spider there. Got to wait for Zemrit to get back, and this will be enough time for Noctis to get the window to open up this next fight as well. Just a great ult for shutting down any sort of push immediately, kind of like Supercharger in that, right?
Yeah, speaking of ultimates, Winnable have nothing to bring to the bear here. Meanwhile, it's going to be Dragons and Noctis's field that are going to have some fun. Also, a Transcendence for a potion should they actually need it. The damage field goes up. The Dragons get shot right through it. Looks like no one's going to get caught in it this time. Good for Winnable, but that does force them around the bend, and the kills start flowing.
Yeah, the Pulse Rifle from Baptiste through the Amp Matrix doing a good bit of damage himself. Spider coming up with a few kills. Petal will get a kill in return, however, they are going to be trapped back here with Ford, and it's going to be very hard to get out of this one alive.
Yeah, this is going to actually be a really nasty stagger. Oh, but there it is! Actually, Ford finds Noctis. They're able to save themselves, and now this could become a push.
Yeah, the Symmetra teleporter to get people in very fast. However, the Sigma ult coming in, not going to be able to get the kill on the Ford. Petal will end up going down to the Orisa, and the Transcendence to try and swing this fight back into their favor. Grab to maybe block this out. Is there enough follow-up damage, however?
Zemrit finally gets that beam to bear. Potion, Lucid Science all go down. Cuddlemaster finds JD as well. Looking good, but one more ult coming out from Dismissed.
A Mei Blizzard to try and save this fight at the very end with the Hanzo damage from Spider in the top window is going to be enough to clean this up. It's just all headshots in the kill feed for Spider right now, and that's going to be a defense, not even a tick taken.
Wow, that is rough. Never apparently count this team out. Don't dismiss dismissed if they've still got someone on the field. As Ford can pull it off, if Ford and Petal can pull off that kind of back flank, then it looks like dismissed can too. And now that they're stabilizing, they're pulling in the kills once again.
Yep, Noctis with an opening kill this time instead of Spider saying, I can do it too. And a nice halt onto Ford, going to be another little stagger kill, get some nice ult charge off of that as well. And they've got an opening window for this fight as well to make this very difficult. I'm looking for the wall from Zemrit to try and get a safe entry on the point here.
Yes, and there's a lot of ultimates as well to bear from both teams. So if Winnable is going to make this fight winnable, they're going to have to start off strong. The Bongos is down. Sigma's ult's going off in the back line. No kills coming out from either side yet, despite all this crazy damage. And there it is. Winnable starting to throw some numbers up on the kill feed. This could be it for them, but we've said that before.
No, I think it's definitely going to be it this time for them, as that is the clean kills now. No one anywhere near to contest. No Hanzo in the window. No Mei with the Blizzard. So they will cap point a little bit before overtime, but they need to rush through the rest of King's Row if they want to have any sort of second attack.
Yeah, this is going to be nasty if they can't finish this map with time left, and they are committing the resources to the payload, going to have that rolling. Petal now onto a Mei, no longer on the Doomfist, and ooh, Dismissed are taking a very forward defense here.
Love this aggressive defense here. Even if you lose a fight, just stalling is getting in as many fights as you can and stalling for as long as payload is a win condition now to get them down to OT before capping out King's Row.
Yeah, really solid strategy, gives you just all the more fights. Also, Spider Agony now jumping onto the Reaper, going to be bringing some barrier-busting potential of their own. Zemrit gets stunned. They are going to manage to live, but Sigma's ult catches the entire team, and that's going to be lots of kills coming out for Dismissed, who also throw in a Mei ult just to seal the deal.
Yeah, throwing in the Mei ult, making sure that you win that fight, and maybe even get a stall onto this next one. 5 members still here will mean that they will be able to hold up and not have to retreat and wait for that 6th member. It will be the Orisa, so it will take them will take Lucid a while to get back to point here. Wonder if they will fall back or try to contest cart a little bit more. Looks like they'll be falling back.
Yeah, they're sending a Noctis Lucio taxi to get that Orisa back onto the field as quickly as possible, despite being a quadruped. Not really a lot in terms of the speed department.
Yep, if they can get back here fast enough, they might be able to fights out of this point B, depending on how this next one goes. Looking to maybe have to win this one, and they're going to start it off strong with the Coalescence. However, the Gravitic Flux coming back in for Winnable.
And that was a brilliant Mei wall placement right down in front of Potion's Coalescence. Gets no kills whatsoever, possibly keeping the team alive. Petal is doing fantastically with these Mei wall placements, really doing a good job of bisecting the team, similar to how the Symmetry barrier is working. And there it is. Petal drops the Mei Blizzard of their own. That's a lot of Dismissed in there.
Yeah, then they will be all forced into the corner off of this Mei ult. Just food for the beams of Zemrit and Ford to start picking up these kills, even with a melee kill in the Avro to get that initial damage down there. And they will be winning this fight. It'll be interesting to see if Dismiss can challenge here in time. That stagger from Potion should mean that they will be able to. Lucid might be able to get to the point soon enough if they should want a third fight here to be.
Yeah, Ford building up tons of energy as well in these scrappy little engagements. Plenty of room for Erin Zarya to get her beam around and get some ult progress going as well. And wow, they're taking another excellent Mei wall coming out from Petal. They take point B, and Dismissed isn't able to contest at all, and now they're just lighting up the kill feed.
If they can get some stagger kills here, in which they are doing, chasing them all the way back to spawn, Winnable is looking at maybe only needing one fight to win here. They will need to keep forward holding if they want that to happen. However, it looks like they will go back to point, looking for some quick fight wins, as they do only have a minute 20 to get it to the point before OT.
Yep, Ford is going to be also rocking up a Graviton Surge, but Dismissed have a truckload of ults that they're going to be able to bring to bear. They're going to start off with the Sigma ult coming out from JD, but the Grav is down. Does it get any kills? The answer is nay. Here comes Spider Agony into the backline. He has the Reaper ult ready to go. It doesn't look like he's going to even need it, though.
No, definitely not going to need that Reaper ult. Very much in tune with the Fire ult. As you press that, you might die. Just looking for the shotgun damage. However, Bowie getting a few kills with the Gravitic Flux, but is just alone up here. Will be eventually chased out, very low on HP. Maybe Noctis getting killed. They're going to let Bowie out. Gets to the Mega? No? Just going to slip on out safely.
Wow. Well, I don't know if Dismiss just didn't really realize or didn't want to commit to it, but that's pretty big. Winnable's going to be back on the cart all the quicker, and they have ults of their own to bring to bear, and Coalescence is going to go driving right through those barriers.
along with the symbol to start, and the May even
Wow.
gonna knock Afro off the edge for momentum. Spider picking up a kill on one of the main healers, though, and the Moira is going to be very large, popping the Death Blossom. Not going to get anything with that, just barriers everywhere. And it looks like that Winnable might be able to push this in. Oh, the boop on the fort is huge.
That was crazy. And also now Afro dropping their own May Blizzard onto the field. You thought Winnable was going to push this all the way through. Instead, now it's dismissed, reversing that entire fight.
Yeah, that boop onto Ford off the map was absolutely crucial, getting that Zarya damage away and gone. And without that damage to close this point out, it looks like that is going to be it. Dismissed taking the... not quite. We got Lucio here. There we go. Now Dismissed taking the 3-2 on King's Row.
What a fantastic matchup at the end. Honestly, I don't think anyone could be blamed if they thought Winnable was going to push that all the way through. The fight was going so well, and like you said, Ford getting booped off like that, that was what really did it.
We're going to see some nice microwaving here from Zermit on point 2. Cleaning that up very nicely with the May Blizzard forcing them into the corner.
Loving to see it. Yeah, really good zoning coming out from Petal there. The use of that May wall, pretty much every time they put it down, they were getting massive value.
Spider showing up in the kill feed a lot, however. Also, well, Dismissed up 2-0 very quickly, making a great entrance into the Overwatch All-Stars Brawl for their first time in a newly formed team.
Yeah, I'm really liking what I'm seeing coming out from both teams, but Dismiss clearly is indicating that they have the power to push those points through. So we once again return to the map ban and pick phase. And of course, before we do, we got to mention it. We've been seeing some really solid plays coming out, so don't forget to grab that MVP poll below the stream and let us know who you think is really popping off.
Spider putting in a good word from themselves on King's Row there with that Hanzo.
Yeah, that was nuts. I think at one point you mentioned it was just like headshot after headshot.
All right, so King's Row didn't quite work out. Can't go back to hybrid, so I'm Dismissed not wanting to go to 2CP, banning out Volskaya. Winnable. However, I don't know if Winnable exactly wants to go to 2CP either, so we're looking at controller escort map possibly.
Yeah, the only map left in the pool from Assault would be Temple of Anubis. I really can't imagine Winnable wanting to go to that particular map. Another, barriers-friendly situation you're going to be walking right into. We still have seen Winnable do a solid job in, the DPS and the tanks departments. It's just Dismiss has been pulling it out. It's difficult to say what map Winnable would really want to go with. Maybe even something a little more dive-friendly again. King's Row was a solid option for the barriers, but I just don't know how this will shake for them.
I just don't know off the top of my head what you're looking for with a Sigma Zarya comp. That has been what they've found the most success with. However, it's not really super divey. It's a very, very strange combination of two tanks.
Yeah, and with the most recent, I guess, universal nerf for everyone, 12% additional charge needed to get that ult meter up, and Zarya in the barriers meta has just such a difficult time of getting any charge at all, let alone some ult charge. So yeah, just it's a rough pick for them to work with.
12% affecting the ults that took the longest to charge in the first place, Krav being one of them, so hitting her harder in terms of raw numbers more than anything.
Alright, so we have our map. They're actually going... so they have attempted to select another hybrid map, but as you may not play the same map type back-to-back, we, I believe, are going to have to select a different map type, but them selecting a map like Hollywood might give us a little insight as to what they're thinking.
I would definitely expect to go Escort then. Either, I'd say Watch Point at that point. I'm thinking Gibraltar.
Yeah, Gibraltar gives them a little more chance, I think, to flex on some of that, maybe even the Symmetra play. Zemrit showing a lot of proficiency, and the Teleporter would be very useful in that particular situation.
Zarya Sigma being able to stay on the point. You got enough room to flex with the DPS as well on that first point. I would like to see them stay away from the dive that they attempted to and just have more of a brawly comp on point, possibly with a DPS flanking as well. A lot of options on Gibraltar with all that high ground.
Yeah, the ability to, pop up, pop down, do your thing, get some Zarya. Yep,
Yeah,
Sly calls it. Nailed it.
We will be going to Gibraltar.
All right, so watch point Gibraltar. Now the question is Dismissed going to once again keep up with their momentum and stay on the attack to start with? I still think that would be a solid option for them. They've clearly been riding a bit of a high.
I think you could go defense first here, just so that you know a solid win condition to close out the series here, as they are on map point now. I wouldn't be against the defense pick here.
Yep, and so far we're just waiting on the word, and we are going to have a little bit of a sub here. Cry is going to get subbed in for Spider Agony 6, and also Dismiss going to have to be selecting their starting side. Otherwise, we are going to be getting going here, and wow, so Dismissed is going to remain on the attack first.
You do have a preference as a team in general, and just being able to come out strong, set it, and Dismiss, definitely favoring that, and going with your theory of keep that momentum.
So we have our match, we have our sides, and we have our subs in and ready to rock and roll. So if they're going to be pulling out Spider Agony and bringing in Cry, I can only assume that means they're going to be rocking some 6 sniper action.
Spider putting a lot of work in on that Hanzo, so not looking for that here. You're very good for Widow, however, that is very difficult to pull off in the current meta.
Yeah, the barriers make it a little difficult, and Widowmaker lacks the barrier busting potential that Hanzo, even despite the Storm Arrow nerf, can bring to the table.
Very interested to what they roll out on here. Gibraltar definitely one of the more unique maps.
And so yes, very interesting. Both teams have ours in the chat, so we are ready to get rocking here. And we are going on to Watchpoint Gibraltar. Now, this is another map, I think, where you can get a lot of good Pharah play, at least out of the first point, but I think depending on what snipers come out and what they can do, it might be a little tricky.
Yep, definitely a little tricky to make the Pharah work all the way through. Point 1 and 3, very good. However, 2 being a bit more enclosed in makes swapping along with ult charge kind of difficult to do. I'm just interested to see if Winnable is going to try any more adaptations, if they have any sort of cheese, possibly, maybe a very forward hold on Gibraltar, so you get multiple fights out of Point A. As Point A is kind of awkward, there's not a lot of super favorable geometry for the defenders on multiple points, except for maybe the start, but teams are a little hesitant pulling so far up to.
Yeah, and that is going to be the question of the hour, isn't it? What is this winnable defense going to be rolling out with? And Bowie is back on the Winston, Ford on a Diva. What year is it?
Going with a little hack fist here. I do like that. Hack fist was a possible counter to Goat, so it would only make sense that you would look at this as something that you could run against double barrier as well. However, if what they are hovering is to believed, it looks like they are going to be running something that is seemingly predicting what Winnable is rolling out here on.
Yeah, and given... and now it's actually pulled pork coming out from Dismiss, so this is just a whole... they're both going... Wow.
Mirror Winston Diva, I never thought this would have happened.
Yep, Lucid Science goes ripping right into the line, and now it looks like we're watching Overwatch from yesteryear gone by. Afro even sticking on a Genji, this is nuts!
I'm at a loss for words right now, to be completely honest. We got a lot of dive coming in. Diana staying on point to keep this pushing, staying up on this high ground, holding it for as long as possible. However, the cart's still making progress underneath them now.
Yeah, and Cry, there's no one to contest Cry, and they are just going nuts with this Widowmaker. Not getting any kills, but they're keeping the pressure on.
However, Potion left alone on point. I'd like to see them drop onto him, and it looks like they finally will hack the hack as well. However, the assistance will be there from JD on the Diva.
Yep, and now it's just a sim up. There it is. Zemrit goes down. The Sombra not able to stand up against that rifle of Widowmakers. And the kills are, almost a head click onto Lucio, but they don't go down. Diva Bomb is out. That's going to be a no thing. Wow, but they get their mech back.
A lot of cover in the bottom of Gibraltar there, so nothing going to come from that a little bit. And with these ults not picking up anything, I'm looking for Dismiss to continue rolling this a little bit forward. Kind of stuck on payload. Should be getting demeched here soon. Maybe will get hacked out. And a Blade coming in, the Nano Blade, 1, 2, looking for a few more. Gonna get Primal around a little bit, but nothing more from that.
Yeah, and that's going to be a death sentence, I think, for Winnable's defense here. Monkey gets nap in the middle of his ultimate, and now it's Lucid Science's turn to go ripping through. And there's the presence on the point again, and Ford is going to get clicked right off the map. A beautiful headshot from Cryon to Zemrit, going crazy!
Okay, just fill up the kill feed with the Widow Wine, don't you? And that's going to be a very quick A for Dismissed.
Yeah, that Watch Point Gibraltar, there was a bit of that stall coming up the bend there, and then just an explosion coming out from Cry.
For all that constant fighting that happened, Zemrit not getting a whole lot of EMP charge, only 3/4 of the way there.
Cry tries to set up a little bit of a headshot action onto Zemrit, but Petal is there to intercede on their behalf.
Gotta make something happen off of that initial pick now, all rushing to point. Meteor Strike gonna save Petal after getting stunned. They're looking for any more kills. The Mercy Hag still not gonna get the kill on that living as long as he is. Finally will go down, and the kills exchanged back and forth now. Cry coming back up on the Widow, picking some up.
Yeah, that is just a trade left and right. That is going to favor the offense a tad here. Ford also left alone on that Diva. That's going to be a nasty stagger if they can get them out of mech.
It's like being safe for just a little bit, will end up getting demech'd right at the end there. Won't use bomb to remech, looking like there's enough tanky targets for them to get the health back.
And so now it's the big man, 4-man EMP. Lucid Science already has popped, but Zemrit actually just goes down. And Bowie finds Noctis. That's a huge kill to get early onto this fight. And now Coalescence pretty much has free reign to go crazy on kills.
Not any. They do get the follow-up off that EMP, chase the rest of them out as there is no cooldowns to help Winnable get out there. Cry continuing to pick up exit kills, however, on the Doomfist, this Petal is going to be getting back to the fight very quickly.
Yeah, that's nuts. Oh, and Bowie actually goes up to try and do some damage. They might be able to pull a couple kills out of here. Very disruptive.
No kills immediately, and this is where you want to be on Gibraltar, holding them at these 4 doors here, get some people up on each point. They will have to pop Valkyrie to get out of here, and we do see the Primal coming in from Bowie, but will get slept out.
Nano Blade comes, or rather a Blade comes out, but the Lucio shields were there, and they do manage to find Petal, but yeah, Winnable doing a fantastic job holding here.
Doing a decent enough job on payload, still not making any progress while this chaos is still happening. Trying to get the focus on to the rest of the people on point, and it looks like we will have some sort of a reset here.
Yeah, massive cleave damage coming out from Lucid Science. They're building up to another monkey already. Cuddlemaster throws out the Coalescence, and that's going to be make it difficult with a giant monkey coming up in Cry's face.
Individual hacks getting a lot of value for Zemrit here. JD getting hacked out pretty consistently. Not able to get those defense matrix. Well, just pop out the bomb to try and get some kills. Well, get momentum there, and that's a very big kill to start. As a lot of healing is not there. Bowie very low from that as well, and it looks like the kills are finally starting to come in for Dismissed.
Petal goes ripping into the backline. They almost find the kill onto Ana, but Afro is there to grab Cuddlemaster instead. So yeah, Petal actually has to use the Seismic Slam just to try and get away, but Afro is just a little too quick on the dot.
And no, a very elongated fight happening here. Cry back on the Tracer is going to pick up Zemrit, and the bomb as well, trying to clear out point, won't find anyone, and now we've got the Blade trying to find something with Afro, will end up getting momentum and nothing more.
Tracer going for a little bit of that one-clip action, doing some work here. I'm really loving this pick. It's rare to see Tracer in this particular day and age. Afro gets some more kills even still. Winnable doing a good job stalling out the cart here, down to a minute, but I think this is going to be where Dismissed push it through.
Finally get it through, and then always the Gibraltar, infamous for its bad spawns after getting capped. We'll get some initial exit kills there. Cry getting all of them, and just rushing back to that point with the Tracer, just not ready to start playing against her, and just puts in a ton of work.
Yeah, that's nuts. They've already built up to their ultimate with a pulse bomb on the way. A slight recent patch change makes that do it just a little bit more damage. They go for the stick, they don't grab anyone, and instead it's actually Afro who's going to be going down in this fight first. Winnable, again, stabilizing.
Yep, Dismiss gonna disengage with that Diva Bomb a little bit. However, Cuddlemaster looking to re-engage with his Coalescence, take advantage of the 65 volt. They do have this small advantage. Then the EMP as well, catching 5, and that's gonna be Lucid Science very quickly focused down.
Yeah, and the rest of looks like the rest of Dismiss is going to follow hot on their heels back to taking the quick way to spawn, so to speak.
I love that aggression off of that initial pick onto the Genji, just taking complete advantage of that to reset the situation and make sure that this cart does not really start rolling through third. As this is so much high ground for the defense, very easy to defend here.
Yep, and wow, Potion actually finds a very early kill onto the Cuddlemaster. Petal going to get away from that high ground where they were presumably lying in wait. They're back on the field now, and the cart is continuing to move, but with a McCree hopefully dealing something. Oh, wow, stuffed right back into spawn.
We got the dueling primals just trying to stay away from knocking each other off the map. It looks like Bowie will be the winner here. Possibly Lucid manages to get all the way back, but will just retreat instead as the fight has been called to retreat, it seems.
Yep, and now the Divas are also having a little bit of a mini duel of their own, but Petal finds Potion, and that is going to be another fight won for Winnable, who are now looking pretty solid on this defense here.
They are looking very solid on this defense here. However, very, very smart swap from Dismissed here is going to be Afro on the Sombra, so they do have that one big win condition of the EMP coming up here to force it into point 3 on OT.
Yep, and now they have this one final push. 28 seconds left. Ultimates to bear on both sides, but it's definitely going to be favoring Winnable. And, geez, there it comes. Petal trying to take that sneaky little route, and he is going to get out with his life.
And that Meteor Strike being used just to retreat back to point, go back for the heals, looking for this EMP. Where is it? It's ready to go now.
Oh, geez, there it is. Cry is going to find Bowie. Ford's been demeched. No tanks is a bad time if you're going to be Winnable on this final push here. But a high noon, that's pretty deadly.
Will not be able to snipe that out with Cry. Does get high noon before finding the snipe. However, the point is still continuing here off of that EMP. The beat not finding a whole lot of value from Momentum. Sides coming up, see who's coming out from which side of spawn. Ford gets hacked out before remeching. That's absolutely huge for a less amount of health. However, Bowie will cut up the slack with the Primal.
Now Momentum has back on the field as well, trying to bring some damage, maybe build up to a barriers, but it's the bongos coming out. Lucid Science having switched onto the Orisa for this final push. Where did the bongos come from so fast?
A lot of HP off of those tanks. Ford trying to get back into the Hammond to stall out. However, that's going to be quickly stuffed out by the Somber Hack. And Winnable with signs of life here on map point for Dismiss, capping Gibraltar.
Wow, what a fantastic play. I, again, really thought Winnable was going to be able to stabilize there and keep Dismissed from finishing the map. But once again, Dismissed, they've got that chutzpah, the chutzpah to push that through.
Yep. Getting it all the way there. So Winnable backs against the wall. Gotta make it all the way through Gibraltar after a very, very hard fought defense.
Fantastic from both sides. And yeah, say what you will, but Winnable did manage to keep that going long enough to push it into overtime. They did, Dismissed rather, did finish the map, but now Winnable, you know, still, as they might say, very winnable.
Definitely in the winnable scenario here, but it is still a tall order as their offense has been a little bit lacking. Did almost get all the way on in Kings Row. Defense has improved compared to Kings Row. Let's see if their offense can improve as well. Dismissed rolling out on this very divey setup once again.
Yep, and I am just loving it. I don't know what is sparking both teams to pull these compositions out on Gibraltar, but if it was going to happen, Gibraltar is definitely a solid map for it. Cry also sticking on to that Widowmaker. Excellent choice, as usual. No double sniper action, though. Afra's going to be sticking around on that Genji, and I can honestly say I'm happy to see it.
Yep, getting a good amount of value off the blades every time he did. Didn't see one get completely shut out. Always managing to find one there, even through the Lucio beat.
Yep, and so here we go. It is going to be getting started. Zembrit back on the Sombra. Like that pick. Really solid excellence. And Petal goes ripping right onto the high ground to accompany Bowie. Much better tank rotation this time around. Bowie having the resources he needs to stay alive.
Yep, looking to see if any sort of aggressive initial fight comes here, or if they are just going to wait for the back here. Afro being hacked out, not enough damage to follow up on that, however, and it looks like they will be able to get away without losing anybody.
Man, Cry putting those head clicks into the tanks makes it very difficult to keep them all alive. But the payload is going to pretty much move exactly about as far as it did when Winnable started to put their own stall into the works.
See what kind of dive Dismiss has here, just putting the Winston bubble onto card, looking to peel back. Not finding anything initially, however, the hack onto a very low JD might be what Winnable needs here. Not able to get the D-Mech though.
Yep, and with that, Winnable, despite not having killed anyone yet, though they do get the D-Mech onto JD, Ford also goes down as well. The map control is woof.
Just forcing all of Dismiss back into the corners, everyone falling back thinking that someone else had the payload. No one did, and that is a very, very fast A.
Yeah, that is really well done. Again, barely a shot was fired before they pushed that cart over the point A line. Really good map control coming out from Winnable here.
Yep, and see if they can keep this momentum going, possibly with the Coalescence, but they will have a Blade to contest from with Afro, maybe get the EMP from Zemrit first off to try and keep this snowballing.
Yep, and so there it is. The fight is in full swing, and Nanoblade is on the field. Yeah, momentum goes down very quickly. Genji, Afro not really able to find any more kills out of it. Cry actually having to switch back onto the Tracer. Gets hacked, though. They are able to fisticuffs it out with Zemrit.
Nanoblade more than good enough to hold that there, even popping the Winston ult into it to make sure that they can hold at these 4 doors. Such an ideal place to be on Gibraltar.
Yep, and fantastically coming out. Ford getting majorly stalled there. Not good for Winnable's offense, but since they finished A with so much time, they have a little bit of room to breathe.
Interesting Reaper pick here, trying to protect the backline from this dive from Bowie forward, because Reaper definitely doesn't have the best matchup against Petal and Zemrit on their DPS picks.
Yeah, I can only assume they're trying to deal with that Winston in some way, shape, or form, but another 4-man EMP. Zemrit is on fire with this stuff. And yeah, there it is. Double shotguns going right into that Winston. That's going to force the Primal Rage out from them. Ford is going to find Cry as well. So Winnable looking pretty solid on this offense here.
They do pump a lot of ults into that, and the kills on the backside of this fight aren't really coming in. However, the payload's still being contested, so they aren't even getting any map advantage here. Finally, we'll take out Lucid on the payload, and if they can keep this rolling now they might have something on B. However, Afro has something to say about that with the Death Blossom on point, picking up so many.
Huge. You saw that coming from a mile away practically, and they did exactly what they needed to do. So many squishy little targets on that payload just get completely obliterated.
That Reaper ult very, very hard to deal with on the back end of fights after you've used a lot of your cooldowns and resources. That's when you're looking to use that Death Blossom and not be shut out immediately.
Yep, and so the Reaper already getting the use. They're going straight for Bowie. They seem to have those double shotguns trained on them exclusively. Ford also going to get DMAC'd very early into the fight. Difficult to keep it up. Afro going absolutely ham. That's even going to spark the switch from Petal, leaving the Doomfist onto a Reaper of their own.
Looking to contest the dive tanks, like, hey, it's working pretty well for them. Let me try this as well, as we really need to get something started here on B. They're looking for some kills. Even Lucid has to pop Primal to not die there, though, however.
Yeah, and also gets hacked as well. So Winnable, another huge EMP, this time 5! And Petal flexing a Reaper of their own. Looking very good all of a sudden, though the Pulse Bomb and the bit of the clapback now from Afro and Cry means that this fight might not be over just yet.
Only getting 2 kills off the EMP, definitely not ideal, as some more will need to start coming through the beat to try and keep this fight momentum going, along with the Coalescence. Will end up picking Lucid, and now, without too much HP, oh, the hack was huge.
Hacked right out of his Death Blossom the minute they had it. Zemrit had that name, hook, line, and sinker. The bomb goes out, doesn't really get any kills, and now it's, again, payload stalling, 2 minutes left on the clock. It's looking pretty good for Winnable, but they need to force this through.
Looks like they will finally start getting this here. The hack on the potion on the Moira will end up just trying to feed on the card, looking to reset here and get a final contest right at the end of B.
Yeah, really well done from Winnable, staying in that fight exactly as long as they needed to, not giving up. They're going to push this cart. I might have one more shot to get it, but it looks like, yes, there is going to be one more contest coming in.
Yep, tried to get that hack on Doomfist, but the rest of the team was there. Afro shutting Petal up on that Death Blossom. Pulse Bomb is going to find Bowie, however. The EMP catching 3. The bomb to try and clear out point as well. Potion doing a great job of contesting, staying behind that payload. Afro picking up another kill, and it looks like Dismiss will be holding right at the end.
That is fantastic, and really interesting to see Afro now switch onto the Doomfist, giving up on the, not necessarily giving up on the Reaper, so to speak, but it's just interesting. You figure the Doomfist would actually be a much better pick against the Reaper, but Petals was doing really solidly on their own as the Doomfist, but even then, just right back onto the Reaper.
Afro, that might have been more of a stall pick more than anything. Did get hacked out, wasn't able to get there, but Lucid was there to pick up the slack. And now on the Doomfist as well, maybe possibly looking for an opening kill almost at the Meteor Strike to stay safe as well.
So fantastic, and yeah, Petal has got a long way to go before they build up to their next Death Blossom, but it's looking very good for the ultimates in terms of Winnable, except Cry goes crazy, murdering people. You can't use your ultimate if you're dead, you know?
Takes out 2 of them before the beat can even get to them, picking up another kill with a pulse bomb, and there is not a lot of time left now for Winnable.
Winnable have to make a touch. And D.Va getting demeched. Oh no! Ford has no mech. They're gonna get stalled out. They're not gonna be around for this next fight.
Yep, even Zemmer going down to Afro, so you're just looking at a Primaling Winston to start this OT with a Coalescence to back up, see how long Bowie can survive here.
Yep, and so there it is. Coalescence comes out from Cuddle Master along with a Primal Rage from Bowie. Lots of healing, but the matching Coalescence coming out from Potion. They have to stay on this payload if they want to live. They do, and the bomb catches Petal with his cooldowns down.
And the rest are coming in. However, the health bars are dropping, having to just rush to point the beat to close out the fight as well. Just Ford left now getting back, unless this bomb just clears everyone else out and is not going to just focus down the mech, and that should be everything.
Yep, overtime is done. Everyone, we have the victor of the match. It's dismissed. Well played from both sides, but man, what a fight there at the end.
Winnable putting up a very good fight as the series went on. Definitely a big improvement from Lijiang, but dismissed, staying strong, cleaning it out with the 3-0.
Yeah, bonkers play coming out from both sides. It's going to be looking at Kree here, who just went absolutely ham, just head click after head click.
That was insane. The 180 off of that to get another small squishy target was incredible, frankly.
Yeah, really, really solid play. I just love seeing this. So many good solid plays. Speaking of which, though, if you saw a play that you super liked, don't forget to go down to that Twitch pick poll below the stream and give your favorite player a vote. Also, if you're liking what you're seeing, we have games pretty much all the dang time. So throw us a follow, a subscribe if you're really digging it, and you'll be able to tune in whenever we are available.
I'm super impressed with Dismissed. A extremely strong showing from them for their first outing here. Winnable, a team that we've seen a lot of and usually ending up around in the top 4 scenario. So definitely a good look for Dismissed, and Winnable going to need a large losers bracket run to make it to where they're used to.
Yeah, that is super bonkers. I love seeing new teams come out here and just utterly crush it. Also, by the way, quick shout out to River Fallen, our newest Tier 1 subscriber. Thanks for tuning in, River. We look forward to entertaining you in the days to come. But for now, we have our post-match interview. It looks like it's going to be JD from Dismissed. JD, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you. How are you?
We are dandy here in the booth. Congratulations on your victory today.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh, geez. So, coming out on the top of that match, a good solid 3-0 from you. We saw a lot of different stuff, but I think Gibraltar's probably what's going to be on everyone's mind recently, as there was not even a single hero in that composition at the end there that I was expecting to see. What went on there?
What were we playing at the end? I don't even remember. That video clip just blew my mind. I don't know what to think. I don't know. We just felt really like strong on our dive, and we kind of just let our DPS make the swaps that they felt comfortable with. And in terms of tanks, I think we just went Orisa on third Gib just to give us something slow to guarantee the cap.
In terms of tanks for the rest of the time, though, what makes you pick the Winston over, say, a Ball?
The Winston, basically the Sombra can counter him as easily, like when he's all in, whereas he becomes like an alt farm if a Sombra gets a hack on him, which is pretty easy. And also, the cleave is kind of huge with our, in combination with our dive DPS.
Super love it, super love it. So Cry definitely did a lot of work. Not gonna lie there. The other compositions that we saw coming out, you guys were really solid options. What's your opinion now on this particular meta that we find ourselves in?
Doom's really strong because he doesn't care about barriers. I think Sigma is a bit overpowered because that amount of damage out of that spot, and I think just the concept of being able to redeploy a barrier on command is kind of overpowered by itself. So I think it makes D.Va a lot worse unless you're playing very squishy DPS and you need to counter dive on 2 CP and escort on first point defenses. But It's basically all centered around Sigma, in my opinion, and what you can do to counter double barrier. So that's why Sim is so good as well.
Changing subject a little bit, how did you guys expect to do this well as a newly formed team? How long have you guys had like your final six as well? And Winnable has done quite well in these tourneys past. You guys looking good going forward as well?
I'm pretty confident. Well, me and Octus and Potion were on the recently disbanded Metamorphic, so we had played in a couple of these tournaments and done fairly well. In terms of our final six, we're still deciding on our main tank. Shout out to Lucid for playing for us today. He did very well. But I think our core is really strong. I think we'll do pretty well.
Awesome, awesome.
Let me know
awesome.
if I missed something there.
Oh, yeah, no.
You got it. You got it.
We definitely liked what we saw from Dismissed, and we're looking forward to see you guys as you move through the tournament. We're gonna wrap it up here real quick, but what are you guys looking forward to going forward? What's your game plan? What's your mentality like?
We're looking forward to Citizens next week.
That is gonna be a nice to see.
Yeah, our mentality is just keep grinding, work our way through the meta right now, and keep winning some matches.
Good, solid stuff. Well, thank you very much, JD, for joining us in the chat here. We're looking forward again to seeing more of you, and congratulations once again to you and Dismissed.
Thank you, thank you. Class is dismissed. Have a good night.
Laters. All right, I super like that.
I love that. That was great. That was great.
Damn. Well, Dismissed definitely had a bit of a school there. A 3-0 is nothing to scoff at, but I do want to say that Winnable definitely made it real difficult for him.
Yeah, definitely did not go down without a fight, showing a lot of gumption there on the Gibraltar defense. However, just not able to get it through with their attacks.
Yep. And so as we are going to be wrapping up here, we really only have just one more thing to take care of, and it looks like that is going to be the MVP poll. But before we get out of here, it is going to be another reminder. Don't forget, we have games a lot of the times, but you don't get notified if you're not following. So don't forget to click that little heart and keep that bell enabled so that whenever we go live, you are there and ready for sick Overwatch action.
Yep. Streaming plenty of the nights. We do have our MVP.
And we do. And it is, to the shock, I think, of not a lot, it's going to be Zemret. Dropping some crazy EMPs in the final round, but also playing quite a proficient Symmetra.
Yep, picking up so many kills, getting a lot of that beam damage melted in, and just great positioning to not get caught out on that 200 HP hero as well.
Yeah, very difficult hero to play, but that is going to be it for tonight. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I am 3pod007. You can catch me on Twitch or Twitter at 3pod007.
And I've been Sly. You can catch me on Twitter at Luigi_Sly, and on Twitch it's just Luigi Sly.
Thanks for joining us tonight, and stay safe out there.